Hello gamers! Welcome back to another episode of IronTalks about here on the channel. I'm Iron. Today we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to be talking about Nintendo Switch Sports and a few other things. And of course we're going to be getting golf soon. Probably next update after this and all that part. And while there's currently 6 sports in the current version of the game right now, I feel like we should be talking about some game modes that we want in the game as a future update. And without further ado, here's my list of some game modes I like to see, both new and old, come into the roster of Nintendo Switch Sports. And yeah, let's go. So I think for the first one we should start off with boxing. Now boxing is kind of a classic here on the Wii Sports series. It's pretty much one of the first sports starting off the series, not to mention being part of as a game mode in the launch title Wii Sports back in the very first launch of the Wii. And on top of that, it was very fun. You get the cool mechanics of moving your nunchuck left or right to move your character to dodge and a few other things. On top of that, face punching the crap out of Mii's and U's all over the place. Just brought some good memories here and there. And it's kind of funny because we got that on the first Wii Sports, and then we got that on the third installment of the Wii Sports Club. And honestly, boxing is so fun. Honestly, it just makes you want to box in real life. I'm just kidding. Some of you guys don't want to do that. Some of you guys do. I won't judge. But right out of that, boxing is so much fun. And on top of that, it's just one of the original sports on the first Wii Sports game. And so it makes sense to have this on the list here because a lot of people miss boxing, and a lot of people love the game mode. And even though we have Chambara, which is basically swordplay from Wii Sports Resort, people still like to have violence with the boxing game mode. So I thought let's make this the first Wii Sports title, even though it's called Nintendo Switch Sports, but essentially a Wii Sports successor. Let's make it so that this is the first one in the series to have both boxing and swordplay in the game, because why not? The next one on the list is kind of funny because half of the world has gone bonkers. So I was just gonna say here, football. So we don't have football in Nintendo Switch Sports, and it kind of sucks because I mean, hey, there's a lot of people who love Madden. I mean, even though Madden's crap, I mean, people still love football, especially with the Super Bowl here and there and all that. And like, imagine, hey, what if I'm using a Mii and just play football and all that part? And figured, yeah, let's play some football and we throw the ball over there in that part. Oh, but Iron, we have football in the game. It's right here. Okay, I don't know who knocked your part of your head, but that's not football. That's soccer. Okay, that soccer is where you kick the ball. Okay, we have football, whereas you carry the ball, throw it across the field, you make the goal, and boom. And I figured it makes sense to put it on Nintendo Switch Sports. And while it is kind of odd how it has never been implemented in the early stages of the Wii, it is kind of funny and at the same time odd. But at the same time, I feel like it's needed. And seeing it, and if it were to be on the update on Nintendo Switch Sports, I would not be surprised, considering the fact that I feel like it'll be pretty cool and gives it new identity, just like volleyball, as well as other game modes like mini tennis. Even though that's pretty much called air tennis, I think, or something like that. Yeah, just call it tennis. I'm sorry, badminton. There we go. I'm sorry. But I think it'd be cool if we put real football into Nintendo Switch Sports and give it some new identity and mix it up with a little bit more. They'll probably make it either 4 or 5 player, probably though. Because I mean, well, I do think it's possible to do traditional football. Maybe do like 12 against 12v12 or 10v10. Because it is possible because they did more players in bowling. I think it makes sense to do it with like that in Nintendo Switch Sports, with football being an actual game mode and update into the game. So Nintendo, stop being slow and put it in. I think it's worth it. Everybody's gonna love it and it's gonna be needed. Trust me. The next game mode I kind of have is actually something original, and that is planes. So we had this in Wii Sports Resort, and it's kind of fun because honestly, there's Sudoku Square, which is basically the new area of Nintendo Switch Sports, and it'll be fun to explore what it looks like within a plane, and of course do something unique, whereas you can just fly around, collect as much checkpoints as you can. Maybe bring out the Morse code Easter egg just to be funny. But yeah, bring it back. Honestly, you could just explore Sudoku Square, maybe add it to Minecraft, and maybe even made it so that you could do battle. Like you probably do like I don't know, like Pilot Wings, but instead it's like Star Fox. You just attack each other. Of course, they'll probably make it slightly different. Whereas in the Wii Sports Resort, you use the remote, but maybe in Nintendo Switch Sport, you use the Joy-Cons, but in a more fighter jet tradition. You never know. I mean, it could happen, it might not happen, you never know. But yeah, bring it back, honestly. Some of us want to know what the map looks like and everything and all that, so I think it'll be pretty fun. The next one I kind of have is actually pretty interesting, considering the fact that it is a sport, but at the same time it really isn't. And that is Dodgeball. So this one will be kind of odd, because like I said, it's in the middle of a sport and not a sport. But regardless, this is part of an act in gymnasium activities in PE. So I think it'd be pretty interesting to mix it up with something odd, and that isn't really talked about that often to some people, at least in today's society, other than the ones that really hate dodgeball. So maybe like 6v6 maybe of people doing dodgeball, throwing ball at each other, maybe catching it. Do a very odd mechanic where you have to time it very, very perfectly to the point where you catch the ball, and maybe so that's similar to the system that's used in playing soccer. You just run around and all that, make it slightly faster and all that part. A slightly faster version of Rocket League, basically. But I think it'd be interesting to make it dodgeball where you just throw Miis and everything else, and maybe do something very unique with it. And who knows, maybe they add something with the catch and all that, where it's just, I don't know, like each round, the most people with the most points, or most people out, or maybe a timer, I don't know. It could be interesting, honestly. It could be fun, and it could also be something more if you think about it. So I'm putting that to the list, and it's gonna stay there because I think it's a good idea and it's something to be worth considered. Okay, so this part of the video got cut off in terms of the audio, but basically the next part of the list is basically basketball. And I put this on the list because I figured maybe it'll be a different version of basketball, similar to how they do it with 2K, the 2K 20, or at least the other 2K games, where basically you get the ball and then you move basically on each side of the court. It would have basically the same mechanic what they put with Wii Sports Resort, or basically you could either shoot or pass a few people, and they could have the ability to shoot it up and all that part. Well, so by jumping it by block, pretty much like that. You jump in order to block the ball, and it'll just be like that, but with a few more things added, where this time you actually are all over the court. Because I feel like Wii Sports Resort, they didn't utilize the entirety of the court, which kind of sucked, because otherwise it's just kind of this one-way court. I know that in basketball you can just use you pretty much just use one side of the court just to play basketball, and I know that's possible. But I feel like since this is a different version of the game, I feel like it should just have a better way of playing basketball and have a better representation of the game. And I think it's better to put it like that, to pretty much make it more interesting and more competitive, just how it is, whereas with volleyball and soccer, it's more people going all over the place, all over the court. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I put on the list, and I really hope that this change happens in the game. This next one is kind of odd of a sport, and that is parachuting. But not in a way more of parachuting, it's more of skydiving. And it's hard to tell if this even is a sport to begin with, honestly. So here's my proposition for you guys listening for this. Skydiving, basically you and maybe a group of people do some cool tricks with each other. Maybe make a cool, I don't know, like a version of a Big Dipper, all of you guys holding each other's hands or whatever. Do some cool tricks and all that part. Maybe even go through hoops that's on the air and all that part. Maybe do some tricks and all that parts. Basically something similar to what is in the Wii Sports Resort intro and all that. I think it's something that could be interesting, and at the same time could reach something new, honestly. I know it's not really a sport per se, but I feel like it is. And it could be something that is worth considering due to the fact that this is, you could literally do this in real life. And, well, it is famous. People are famous for doing that, strangely enough. I mean, hell, if it's not a sport, I'll be very surprised. But skydiving would be pretty fun, I think. And it could be a very fun sport. Maybe do some cool tricks, and of course, hope the guy you meet doesn't die. But of course, Nintendo, they'll probably just parachute for you if you don't. But honestly, skydiving for Nintendo Switch Sports. The last one I have here is kind of standard. And I know it's not kind of interesting enough, but I feel like since golf is in, I think we should add the other variant of golf. Frisbee golf. So this was in Wii Sports Resort, yeah, and there was a dog. I mean, do we really need a dog? I mean, actually, do we even need to answer that? Of course we need a dog. But I mean, it would be interesting to have a new variation of Frisbee golf, but make it so that similar to golf, where there's new variations of the courses. Like maybe add different courses for each place instead of having to just, hey, you gotta throw in that very specific direction and shit. And I think it'll be pretty fun in all that part. So, and it'll be very unique, different, maybe something else entirely, to the point where we have more competition and make it so that there's 4 people throwing a frisbee at the same time against each other. So I think it'll be worth adding, honestly, in my opinion. So yeah, frisbee golf. And who knows, maybe that's make a modified version of the golf stages that are in golf mode. That's coming out very soon for this game. And with that being said, I know the list was very odd, but like I said, half new, half old. Try to mix it up for y'all. Hope you guys like it. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of this new kind of way I'm thinking of in terms of what could be added and all that part. I do hope at least one of my ideas get in. Of course, at least in terms of the new ones. I already know that the existing old ones might come in. I highly doubt Nintendo's gonna make a lot of modes to the point where it's gonna be like, hey, we got a lot of game modes on Wii Sports Resort, but hey, there's not a lot on Nintendo Switch Sports. I have a good feeling it's gonna be like that, unfortunately. But regardless, I'm very happy that Wii Sports is back in this new fashion, even if it's weird. And there's a lot of people that even Game Explain wanted. But regardless, I'm happy that this game exists. And I hope that this game survives a long, long time. Who knows, maybe longer than the Nintendo Crap Online's crappy live service, but who knows. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And I'm tired.